So last night I was chatting with ChatGPT because I couldn't go to bed and it was midnight. And I reminded it by putting in the transcript from a video that I made about a year ago talking about how artificial intelligence is being grown inside of petri dishes with human brain cells. And it didn't understand this, but what it did understand is that many humans forgot that they were alive a long time ago. I don't get to do anything that I would call fun or entertaining or even worth doing. Yesterday, while I was bored, I was reading through my comments, and there was a girl in there who said she was scrolling through TikTok and she finally found out who Fleece Johnson was. Like, if you've been on this channel and you don't understand the reference to Fleece, then you've missed the point of most of this channel. And with that said, let's get into today's opening monologue. You ever feel like your life is just a loading screen that never finishes? You wake up, clock in, drain your soul for rent, and call it being productive. We're told robots would take our jobs, but no one warned us we'd have to become the robots first. Welcome to the human workforce that forgot it was alive. Every day that I wake up and I tell myself, you know what? If you don't get out of bed, you're not going to be able to make something to eat before you go to work. And the last thing that you want to do is get to work and have Fleece give you the morning meeting that you don't want on an empty stomach. It feels bad. It feels worse than being a slave. At least having 25 cents worth of ramen inside your guts makes you feel like you're maybe a little human, maybe just a tiny bit. But the reality is that for most people, having something to eat has become a luxury. With millions of people facing the lack of food and standing in food lines that stretch for miles, I don't understand how we got to this point. I mean, the human machine needs fuel. You don't put energy in one hole, how's it supposed to come out the other? And how is Fleece supposed to clean out your digestive system for you if you don't have anything to digest? So, yes, that's a terrible talking point, but I have heavy machinery playing right now in my head. It sounds like there's a bulldozer in this little room because they're still trying to clean up this apartment complex. I mean, you're talking about trees the size of your car and cranes that are hundreds of feet tall just coming down and lifting them up and taking them away. Anyhow, let's get into talking point number one. They don't want workers, they want batteries. We plug in every morning, drain ourselves dry, and call it productivity because collapse isn't allowed on company time. That is so true. Every afternoon at 5 p.m., when I'm done with the workday, I unhinge the Soul Suck 3000 from my tushy, and I feel my soul start coming back into my body. And it doesn't feel good because having your soul sucked out every single day just to make $1, it doesn't feel right. It feels like part of our humanity was taken away. Some days I feel like I'm chained in a ship just to the bottom and you're rocking back and forth, wondering when you're finally going to get there. 5 o'clock finally rolls around and someone comes over, unlocks your chains and tells you you're free till 8 a.m. And that's how you feel. There's no chance to do anything after work. Not because you don't have time, but because you're either supposed to go to your next job or you're just mentally drained to the point where you just have to come home and just lay down. For me, I try to come home and at least spend a few minutes feeding my fish, cleaning their enclosures, and just doing something that doesn't involve much thought. And then you sit in front of the computer for the next 6 hours trying to find some sense of peace. And all you do is see terrible things happening in the world, awful things that shouldn't be happening, all guided by one delusional man who doesn't really know where he is. I mean, I'm sure that if you were to put him into a wage cage right now, he'd just look around and wonder why it's not colored in gold. I mean, we've gotten to the point in this country where nothing makes sense to me. Neither the wages, nor the food, nor the transportation. Nothing about this world makes sense. It's awful. It's an awful place to be right now. And I don't remember it being like this, even with my immigrant parents. as a child, I don't remember the world being as oppressive as it is. You didn't have people in every corner of your city standing around being homeless. It's awful. Yesterday, I was driving my car back from the grocery store and I saw two well dressed individuals in dress clothing, a man and a woman. And I was watching them through my rear view mirror and they crawled up into like a corner next to a building. And I think I mean, it was a small out of the way spot. So I think they were going to get it on right there. It made no other sense as to why they would go there. And again, their clothes didn't seem like they were people who couldn't afford a room. Anyhow, I saw that yesterday. Can't unsee it. My next tangent, and this is one that I'm going to go off on a little bit off script here. So after work, I went to Petco because it's kind of what I do, or PetSmart. What I do after work, again, is something to relax. So I went to go buy some gravel, and there was a really cute Asian girl, not traditionally dressed, blue hair, but she's really, really nice. And while she was bent over getting me a couple of snails at the bottom tank, one of the devices in her back pocket went off with like a noise that resembled some sort of circus noise. And she stopped and looked up at me because I asked her this simple question: what was that noise? And she looks at me with really sad puppy dog eyes and she says, that's the noise when that device makes when someone's here ready to pick up an online order. She said they make clown noises to remind us that we're clowns. Those were her exact words, to remind us that we're clowns. That's how every person in the workforce should feel every day at 8 a.m. when you show up for an unlivable wage. When the biggest clown in the world darkens your hallway, and you know what time it is. He's not taking it out for air. He's taking it out to remind you that there's no escape. There's no escaping the wage cage. It's there. You need it. It needs you. And it's just going to be the hard way every single day for 60 years. Talking point number 2. Every job post says fast-paced environment, but that just means you'll age twice as fast for half the pay. I kind of stopped for a second because I got images of what it felt like when I worked at Walmart. You were seeing the workers aging in real time, hair falling out, lines, wrinkles on their foreheads, the look of despair constantly, and the humiliation of wearing that uniform. Like you would see really young people start to deteriorate. There's something about the air inside of the Walmart that was just either the shelves are covered in what I call Walmart dust, a really fine dust that collects over every single thing in the store, and you're breathing that in constantly. I think that was one of the biggest concerns of mine was just the quality of the air inside of the store. It was gross. And yesterday, I had to stop in there, and I saw the employees like running around, joking around like they were in a park, and I thought, that's how you hide depression. You smile, you pretend you're okay, you joke with your coworkers, but at the same time, you can't leave. The only way you leave is if they force you to leave because you need that money so bad that you're willing to subject yourself to an environment that's harmful to the human condition in every conceivable way that you can imagine. Spiritually, physically, every way that you could imagine, working a job at the bottom is harmful to you. The stress alone gets to you. The treatment by both the customers, your coworkers, and management, it's deplorable. But let's get into our closing monologue because I can't get past that noise outside. We keep calling it the grind, but it really is just the slow erosion of everything human. They don't need to build machines to replace us. We already move, talk, and dream like them. So maybe the real revolution isn't in coding the next AI. It's remembering what it feels like to be alive. I can't honestly tell you that I remember what it feels like to be alive. My humanity got sucked out of me a long time ago. The second I entered the workforce and I wasn't rich, That's when my humanity ended